Fostering is essentially a way to help save lives without making a lifetime commitment. Being in a shelter is a novel, stressful environment. Smells, different sounds, people constantly running around you. So it's not a great environment for dogs or cats. Of course, we do everything we can to enrich their lives here, but there is nothing like being in a home. And that can be a week and a half, a few months, or that can be a weekend. That can be a couple hours. Research shows that even a small amount of time beyond shelter walls has a significant impact on stress levels. And this is science. Scientists have studied the cortisol levels of animals while they're in the shelter, and then after a brief time, after a longer time, in a home setting, and the cortisol levels drop significantly, and they stay down for a period after the dogs come back to the shelter. So any amount of time is going to make a significant difference in a dog or cat's life. And we really get to learn about the animals when they're in a foster home. Here behind bars, dogs aren't going to show their true personality. Most of them bark and jump. And when they get into a home, the first thing they do is curl up somewhere and sleep, often for hours, just because it's peaceful and quiet. So any home would make a good fit. And this is key because, we used to put up a lot of, there are kind of obstacles when you have requirements, right? And a lot of folks think they need a huge backyard fenced in, or the animal has to have the run of the whole house. And again, all we want to do is get them into an environment where they're not dealing with everything that happens at the shelter. Of course, it's ideal, sure, if you had space to, isolate the animal for a while. If you had a course in your backyard for them to run agility. These things are not necessary, especially with a cat or a smaller animal. You have a spare bathroom, you can set that up. They're just happy to be out of a cage. It's not necessarily about specifics in the home environment. The beginning step is you can email me at info@dbchs.org. We also, if you go to our website, there's a link to fostering. We have a brief application. It's hardly even an application. It's mostly just to get your demographic information. And then we hook up, email, conversation on the phone, discuss your what your capacity is. We certainly don't want to send a giant dog home with someone that has tiny little kids that could get knocked over. Obviously, we do a brief screening, but the key is to have as many obstacles out of the way as possible. We don't want to prevent someone from fostering for some random reason. So we do have a conversation first. Then if you have resident pets, we want to do a meet and greet with our pet, unless we know for sure that everyone is friendly. And we do have cases like that sometimes. But just like people, not every animal gets along with another animal. So we want to make sure you're safe and feel comfortable with the pet that's going to be in your home. And that's how we get rolling. After we decide there's a match, we'll provide everything you need. A lot of times folks already have things they need, but we certainly we'll provide food, bed, toys, and obviously all the vetting is something that we're responsible for. We want it to be like a visitor that doesn't cause you any problems, right? There's a lot of myths about fostering. Oh, I'll keep the dog. I don't have enough room. I don't have time. All of those myths can be dismissed if you try, right? All you have to do is try. And we are not going to force you to keep an animal for any longer than you can, obviously. And it's rare that we have any issues because we do the work on the front end. But I would encourage you, call your local humane society or shelter and just see what opportunities they have. I know we also have a program called Doggy Day Out here, and that is literally just an afternoon out somewhere. So my guess is your shelter or humane society also has opportunities to get animals out of the shelter one way or another, and we appreciate the help.